10 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. A murder trial postponed again at the last minute in Matagorda County. The reason behind the delay.
A Victoria ISD principal is arrested after a Sunday night crash.
And the Supreme Court makes a major immigration ruling today, the decision that changes enforcement nationwide.
We've got a couple of days of very nice fall weather. Tomorrow morning was going to be very pleasant, down to the mid-60s, but any rain in the future, we'll be talking about that coming up.
And who will be our game of the week here for week 3? Find out later in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shawna Currie.
And I'm Don Brubaker.
Victoria County Commissioners are amending a prior request for certificates of obligation intended to fund county improvements.
25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting joins us now to give us some details on the court's discussion. Trenton?
Shawna, Don, thank you. As part of the budget process for the upcoming year, county commissioners are discussing certificates of obligation, or COs, to fund capital projects. The total amount of the COs must be approved before the final budget approval on September 29th. Right now, the county is sticking to a $12.65 million price point for all of their projects. Some include finding a new location for the elections office, courthouse improvements, and improvements to the second floor of the Heritage Building, which could end up hosting some county offices. $6 million worth of improvements to the jail were removed because of plans to build a new jail in less than 10 years. The county currently has an outstanding debt of slightly less than $32 million. They're also proposing issuing COs to Citizens Medical Center for hospital improvements. However, the hospital would be responsible for paying back that debt. Unlike general obligation bonds, certificates of obligation can be issued without voter approval, unless 5% of qualified voters within the jurisdiction petition for an election on the spending in question. Shawna, Don, back to you.
Thank you, Trenton. A new delay in the murder case against Fernando Acosta Jr., a trial that was set to begin today.
25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley has the latest from Matagorda County.
The trial for Fernando Acosta Jr. was supposed to start today, but is delayed due to complications. The state of Texas is asking for a motion of continuance because of a scheduling conflict with the Corpus Christi firearms expert, David Curtis. Matagorda County District Attorney's Office investigator Justin Currie has reached out to Curtis to inform him that the trial is set for this Monday morning. Amid Curtis's scheduling conflict, Curtis has been on administrative leave since March of this year. Investigator Kirk reached out to the Texas Department of Public Safety Crime Laboratory Firearms Division to possibly retest the evidence, and if expedited, a report could be complete in 90 days. Acosta's attorneys aren't taking any part of the continuance and stated they're ready for the trial to start. On Wednesday, September 3rd, Judge Fortenberry granted the motion of continuance for the state. Acosta was indicted on May 21st, 2021 for the murder of Amanda Johnson. Her remains were found in a burned SUV in Matagorda County. Johnson was found in midfield by Texas Rangers in the state fire marshal's office. Amanda Johnson was a single mother of 2. She previously worked at a health club and was an elementary school teacher at Victoria ISD. She was just 38 years old. A status conference will be held Wednesday, December 3rd at 9 a.m. at the Matagorda County Courthouse. Reporting from Matagorda County, Ray Mosley, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
A Victoria ISD principal is accused of driving while intoxicated. Roland Elementary's principal, Sarah Young, was arrested Sunday night after a single vehicle wreck on North Navarro. Police say she failed field sobriety tests at the scene. The district confirms they are aware of the arrest, but they are not saying if she's been placed on leave or what this means for her role at the school.
A smoke alarm this afternoon forced the evacuation of Allo Elementary. With all students and staff already safely evacuated, firefighters found a small amount of smoke in 2 rooms. Officials say it was from a burned air conditioner blower belt. The building was cleared and first responders stayed on scene to help with a safe dismissal.
Our department has handled the situation. There was not a fire inside the building. It was something to do with a air conditioning unit, maybe a belt. No danger at all. The school's been cleared multiple times. They're working on the mechanical situation and everything should be normal tomorrow morning.
The Victoria County Sheriff's Office, Victoria Fire Department, and Quail Creek Volunteer Fire Department responded.
Well, things warmed up in the afternoon, but nice and cool in the morning.
That was very nice. Mac, we would like more of that. Can we get more of that?
For maybe a couple mornings because tomorrow morning is going to be very comfortable, very pleasant, down to the mid, maybe even low 60s. So as you head out in the morning, you're really going to enjoy it. I'm sure the puppies will enjoy it when they go out to do their business. Otherwise, you know, there was rain in Texas, but it was just all south of us. In fact, I last week thought it was going to be raining today, but it all went south. In fact, it rained below Corpus Christi all the way down to the valley. How long will we have this lovely fall weather? Well, we'll be talking about that and taking a look at your 7-day forecast coming up in a moment. Back to you.
Mac, thank you. President Trump is speaking out after the deadly stabbing of a Ukrainian refugee on a train in North Carolina. Police say DeCarlos Brown attacked the woman multiple times, then sat back down.
He's now facing first-degree murder charges. The suspect's long criminal history has lawmakers questioning how the justice system handled him. ABC's Melissa Adon has more.
A graphic surveillance video released by officials in North Carolina showed the unprovoked murder of a Ukrainian refugee on a Charlotte commuter train. We are not showing the attack. Police say moments after this August 22nd video was taken, 23-year-old Irina Zarutska took a seat in front of the man in the red hoodie and began scrolling on her phone. After a few minutes, police say the man, identified as 34-year-old DeCarlos Brown, took out a pocket knife, stood up, and stabbed Zarutska several times. Passengers rushing to help aid, but it was too late.
I just hope that this raises there needs to be change with cats and the security.
The victim's family says she was a talented young artist who had come to the U.S. to flee the war in Ukraine. Today, President Trump offering his condolences to the family.
It's so horrible, but just viciously stabbed. She's just sitting there. So they're evil people. We have to be able to handle that. If we don't handle that, we don't have a country.
Brown was arrested after stepping off the train and faces first-degree murder charges. He has more than a dozen convictions dating back to 2014. His own mother says this tragedy could have been prevented, saying after he served 5 years in prison for armed robbery, Brown began to behave strangely, and she got an involuntary commitment order placing Brown under psychiatric monitoring, diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Very alarming as a woman who rides solo. People have harassed other people. You can tell that they're probably not mentally well.
The mayor of Charlotte pushing for more investment in mental health resources. North Carolina's governor says he's calling for more cops on patrol, asking the legislature to pass his law enforcement recruitment and retention package in order to hire more police officers. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
8 members of the violent MS-13 gang have pleaded guilty to a multi-year criminal conspiracy that included multiple murders, assaults, and witness tampering in the Houston area. The defendants, all originally from El Salvador, admitted to carrying out brutal acts to maintain their status in the gang.
Sentences for the 8 will range from 35 to 50 years in prison, and federal authorities say these guilty pleas send a strong message that violent gangs like MS-13 will be held accountable for terrorizing communities.
And as President Donald Trump's administration aggressively cracks down on illegal immigration across the United States, citizens from Los Angeles to Boston are pushing back by taking to the streets.
On Monday, the Supreme Court backed the president's push to allow roving ICE patrols in California to continue. Cheryl Hubbard has the latest info on this nationwide fight.
In Southern California, masked and armed immigration and customs enforcement agents will be allowed to continue what critics call roving patrols, stopping and interrogating people about their immigration status. Lower courts found that these patrols likely violated the Fourth Amendment, but the Supreme Court disagreed, likely clearing the way for similar practices elsewhere.
You can expect action in most sanctuary cities across the country.
After weeks of threats by President Trump, White House border czar Tom Homan says says a move to send federal agents to Chicago is imminent. Over the weekend, thousands protested against ICE and for immigrants' rights in Illinois. And in neighboring Indiana, Hoosiers rallied against housing ICE detainees in their state.
We want to see that money used to address the housing crisis in our community, to address homelessness, to address the fact that people can't afford their rent.
In Boston, city leaders are saying no thanks to ICE.
Our cooperation with each other is why this is the safest city in the country. And I just completely reject this notion that, somehow we need ICE or Secretary Homan or Tom Homan to come in and save us.
Critics of the immigration crackdown say federal agents should not be targeting people because of their race, how they speak, and the jobs they work.
What they've been doing in other cities, they've been targeting families, even young kids, American citizens have been deported.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
Now, the Supreme Court is not saying why it's allowing these so-called roving patrols to keep going, but Justice Brett Kavanaugh did weigh in.
He agreed with the decision, writing that while ethnicity alone cannot be used as the reason to stop someone over immigration, it can still be considered as part of the bigger picture when combined with other factors. Barring court intervention, many Texans may be voting in new congressional districts in the upcoming 2026 midterms. A lookup tool shows how your districts may have changed. To read the full Texas Tribune article, come to crossroadstoday.com.
2 Lubbock police officers are seriously hurt after getting pinned against an overpass. The officers were busy helping a stranded driver on the highway when the semi hit their patrol car, pinning them between their car and the guardrail, with one of the officers dangling from the overpass. Witnesses quickly ran over to help pull the officer back up. Both have serious injuries but are expected to be okay.
That's incredible to watch.
Absolutely.
Well, your news, weather, and sports are streaming 24/7 on crossroadstoday.com. And stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now, after Monday Night Football, road work begins on a flood-prone Victoria County roadway. What drivers need to know about the project.
Also ahead, courtroom drama reaches new heights as a self-represented defendant faces attempted assassination charges of President Trump. A well-traveled Victoria County road will have improvements to reduce flooding issues. Victoria County Precinct 4 Commissioner Kenneth Sexton says crews will be cleaning ditches and installing more than 50 new culverts along Old Highway Road west of Telfner to help stop the frequent flooding. Commissioner Sexton asks everyone to be patient and drive carefully while the work is underway. These upgrades should make a wet commute a lot less of a headache.
Lowering the speed limit in the work zone area. The contractor is going to move signs with where he's working, and we'll just ask in that zone to slow down to 25 miles an hour just because there'll be people and equipment. It shouldn't hamper, driving or anything.
Sexton says the work will begin next Monday and last about 4 to 5 weeks. For our viewer poll tonight, we're asking, will the ditch cleaning and culvert improvements along Old Highway Road make a major difference in your driving experience? Well, our voters have spoken out. 78% say yes, it will make a difference. That's a little bit down from earlier. Not sure is a little up, 15%, and the no's are at 7%. Viewer response time. Cheryl from Inez says, with all the new home construction, the drainage has been moved around many times. Interesting point. And Elizabeth in Victoria says, if the county would clean all the ditches in every precinct and put culverts in every driveway to keep the water moving, it will help. Listen to Elizabeth. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to let us know. Thank you for voting and for your responses. New developments now concerning the Jeffrey Epstein case.
The GOP-led House Oversight Committee was given new documents and communications from the Jeffrey Epstein estate today. Democrats on the committee say it contains a letter from President Trump. Here's ABC's Christian Cordero with more.
The House Oversight Committee says it has obtained Jeffrey Epstein's so-called birthday book from his 50th birthday. That book was speculated to include a letter that the committee's Democrats now claim to have, allegedly written by President Trump. The committee's Democrats are sharing this photo on social media they say is the page purportedly written by Trump. The image ends with Trump allegedly telling Epstein, quote, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." Trump has denied writing the letter, calling it fake. He is suing the Wall Street Journal, which was first to report about the letter. The White House is again blasting the Wall Street Journal's parent company today, claiming the signature in the letter just shared is not the president's. The House Oversight Committee obtained the birthday binder as part of a subpoena that also includes Epstein's last will and testament before August 2019, various entries from an address book, and information about Epstein's known bank accounts, among other things. Christian Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Jury selection began today in the federal trial for the man accused of trying to kill President Trump last year prior to the election. 59-year-old Ryan Routh has chosen to represent himself in the trial. Prosecutors say Routh perched a rifle through the fence of a golf club in West Palm Beach, creating a sniper's nest near where Trump was golfing. Routh faces 5 charges, including attempted assassination of a major presidential candidate.
U.S. tariffs hit car companies hard in July. Auto industry consulting firm Anderson Economic Group said car makers paid more than $1.4 billion to import cars and car parts from Canada and Mexico. This comes after a 25% tariff on cars and car parts went into effect in April and May. General Motors, Stellantis, Ford, Tesla, and Hyundai assemble many of their vehicles in the U.S., but they import a number of parts from Canada and Mexico. The automakers paid nearly $300 million just on car parts in July.
Well, knee pain is common in active children, and one condition that's often called jumper's knee tends to show up during growth spurts.
And with more, here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
A report in the Journal of the American Medical Association's Pediatrics finds many children who play sports experience knee pain from overuse. One common cause is a condition called Osgood-Schlatter's disease, also known as OSD or jumper's knee. It usually affects girls between the ages of 8 to 13 and boys between the ages of 12 to 15, especially those who play sports that involve running, jumping, or kicking, like soccer, basketball, or volleyball. Kids with jumper's knee feel pain and swelling right below the joint, mostly during activity. It usually affects just one leg, although it can be both. Doctors can usually diagnose the issue with a physical exam. Treatment typically includes rest, ice, pain meds if needed, and stretching. Most kids get better without surgery. The key is to not push through the pain. Support from parents and coaches makes a big difference in recovery. With this Medical Minute, I'm Jacqueline Lee.
One lane of Highway 77 is back open after an afternoon grass fire. It started in the 2400 block of Highway 77 South, with multiple fire departments on scene trying to get it under control. DPS blocked traffic at Highway 77 and FM 318 and have since reopened one lane.
Well, good evening, everybody. We're looking at 73 degrees right now. We haven't seen that kind of cool weather since, I don't know, May or something, April or May. The high today got up to 90, as you can see right there, and that's below our average. We've been above average for the last 3 months. We've been as warm as 106 on this date just a couple of years ago. No rain today, obviously, today Monday, but boy, we had great rain on Sunday, about 3 to 4 inches in most areas of the county. We'll be talking about what to expect for the rest of the week coming up after this. Well, good evening, everyone. Tomorrow morning, you're really going to like the weather as you head out the door if you head out early, because, you know, it's been so steamy and so stifling in the morning hours, but tomorrow will be fresh. We'll be down into the mid 60s. Low humidity is going to make it feel very comfortable. Last week, I told you that I thought it was going to rain on Monday as well, but the frontal system that triggered all that rain on Sunday actually went so far south, all the way down to the valley, where it took all the rain. So while we had a beautiful sunny day below Corpus Christi, it's been cloudy and rainy all day long, so we weren't that far away from it. The Northeast is having a wonderful time as fall weather has really taken hold there, and this is another good sign here. The Pacific storms that come in on the northwest coast, I know it's very far away from us, but they're beginning to move, and that's good because it's going to hopefully prevent a wildfire season out there. They haven't had a big one, I don't want to say too much, but this is a good sign that snow and rain is going to start rolling into the west coast. Another thing that's happening right now, it's the fall migration of the hummingbirds. You know, those little bitty birds are this big and they fly so fast, but think about it. They spend the summers up here, and then they fly 1,000 miles to Central America to spend the winter. And if you're lucky enough to get a good camera or a good binoculars, they're absolutely gorgeous. I don't know how they do it. How do they find their way to fly 1,000 miles in one big jump? Of course, a lot of people put out food for them at this time of the year because they need their energy to keep going all the way down to their winter, what do they call that? Winter haven grounds where they spend the winters. Anyway, you see right here at Corpus Christi, all this all the way to Laredo. From there on south, they had shower activity today, so it wasn't that far away. Back to the Atlantic. You know, it is the peak right now, the peak of the tropical storm season. And there's nothing happening out there. We had one last week that looked like it was going to get going. It fell apart, though no major problems out there. In the Pacific, we have Kiko. Kiko is going to be moving about 150 miles north of the Hawaiian Islands, as you see right about there. So it's not a direct hit, which is good because this is still a hurricane. And it is now the the strongest Pacific storm we've had so far this season, but it'll hopefully move out to the cooler waters and fall apart. In southern Mexico, we watch again. This is now red. It was orange earlier today, so that means a very strong chance of the next storm system developing right there where that X is and then coming up. If it stays offshore, great. If it comes onshore, not so great. That's a problem. Look at these temperatures for tomorrow morning. Oh yes, 67 for us with low humidity and a few mid 60s here and there. Very comfortable. Now daytime we got a lot of sun, so we'll get on the warm side, getting up to about 93 tomorrow's high. But you know, with low humidity, it's always enjoyed around here. We are looking at your day planner for Port Lavaca. Look at that. Gorgeous sunshine all day long and only 92. Same thing in Cuero, lots of sunshine up to 92. Now, for the 2 good days here, by Thursday, the south wind kicks back in, and so we're going to pick up just a little bit of moisture for 1 or 2 garden variety showers. Other than that, should be fairly quiet through most of this week. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that and put Crossroads Today on your phone. Well, we're here late because of a professional football game, but what about them high school games? Max?
We talk about pros a lot all the time when we get to, college football and NFL, but we got high school football is known for just Fridays. And one game we're watching now is the Edna Cowboys and the Refugio Bobcats. We'll give you the full game preview coming up in sports. We've officially made it through 2 full weeks of high school football, and week 3 has arrived. And we got some big enticing matchups to watch out for. First, our game of the week, we're going to have the Yoakum Bulldogs. They're traveling out to face the Cuero Gobblers. Both teams are undefeated, and they're meeting for the 116th time for these teams. And for Cuero last year, they won 61-49. The Gobblers started off strong. They've beaten 2 ranked teams in the Columbus. They're week 1, 28-21. And then Lavernia last week in a high-scoring affair, 49-41. Now for Yoakum, they beat Calhoun in week 1, 23-16, and then Industrial 45-27. And the Bulldogs have a new quarterback in charge, Ian Pellet, who found 4-star SMU commit Xavier Barnett for 2 touchdowns last week. And this game looks to be a high-scoring affair. And again, for Cuero head football coach Jared Feacock, he highlights how last week's game against Lavernia is going to be huge for this week. There's Yoakum.
When we need to make plays, defense is just continuing to fly around. I thought we played offensive line. We played good tonight. Jackson and Walker are playing phenomenal good, but we got some other guys that can get things done too. Total team effort. Beat a good football team over there tonight. We're going to continue to grow.
And that's what Feacock wants. He wants to keep beating more and more talented teams as they go the rest of the way. And he hopes that Jackson Marie and Walker Dietz can keep that connection going versus Yoakum this Friday night at 7 p.m. Now, another game to watch out for is between the Edna Cowboys versus the Refugio Bobcats. And last week, Edna lost pretty badly, 42-14 over Bay City there at home. For Refugio, they won last Thursday night over London there pretty easily, 55-6, with quarterback Ray Lewis having 3 rushing touchdowns and 1 passing touchdown for the day. And now for Edna, they lost that game against Bay City a lot because their starting quarterback Trevor Floyd was injured during the game. So their backup came in, and again, still trying to figure out who that is there for Edna going going into this upcoming week. But they're hoping to get a big-time upset and stop that high-powered offense in Refugio with Lewis and their running back, Xander Wills, who have been outstanding the past couple weeks. And this game will start now at 7:30 p.m. instead of 7 from original time there from the Refugio School District. And earlier today, we talked with the running back for Edna and Ryland Slosher and the head coach, Jamie Dixon, about how they feel going into this Refugio game this week.
Every week you just look to continue and get better each week. We're dealing with some injuries, and so we're having some other guys step in and step up and, fill those roles and, get ready to play. For some of our younger guys just to get better every week, and continue on with that process of it.
We just got to leave last week behind us, keep going on, keep doing what we're doing, stay locked in, that's about it. You just can't look back at old games and how we played, wasn't how we wanted. Just got to stay on that path. Just keep your eyes forward, keep looking.
I can tell they're from Slosher's kind of answer right there. Again, they just don't want to worry about the injuries. They want to worry about next game mentality because they hope they can get the big-time upset versus the Refugio Bobcats there starting this Friday night. Takes us here to this week's viewer poll where I asked everyone from this Week 3 matchup, which one are you most intrigued to watch here for this week? I met the two games we saw with Edna Refugio, Yopa and Cuero, or Poth versus Shiner. You got Victoria East versus Gregory Portland, or just another category. And a lot of you chose Yoakum and Cuero. And again, it's a big-time rivalry game. Everybody talks about it. And one fan that's very excited as well is Xavier Barnett's mom, and Arlene Barnett, who kind of mentioned up there that she's very proud to kind of, like I said, see her son overall. Had a great comment. And again, she's really excited to see what this team can do. Maybe they can get a big-time upset over Cuero here this week. That's going to do it here in sports. Don and Shawna, back to you.
Max, thank you, and stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now. After Monday Night Football, we'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, a Fort Wayne, Indiana backyard is home to something extraordinary, the world record that's stretching the limits. A backyard in Fort Wayne, Indiana is now home to the tallest sunflower in the world. The massive plant nicknamed Clover was grown by Ukrainian immigrant Alex Babich, and it stretches more than 35 feet tall. That's 5 feet taller than the previous world record set in Germany back in 2014. Babich already broke U.S. records in recent years and says Guinness is reviewing his paperwork now before making it official. That's a tall sunflower.
Yes, Miracle Grow.
That's a really tall sunflower, absolutely.
Now, they say you have a green thumb. He's got a green foot.
Green hands, green feet.
All over the place to get it that tall.
Of course, if we get more rain, we could grow maybe plants like that.
I know. But it was good what we had over the weekend. But we're not going to get a whole lot of rain this week. Tomorrow is a nice fall day because of the low humidity. It'll be warm in the daytime, but you won't feel it as bad as it was a couple of weeks ago. And then just a few clouds roll in by the time we get to Thursday and Friday, but shower chances very, very minimal for most of this week.
All right. Well, someone is painting squirrels in East Hartford, Connecticut. Yes, painting actual squirrels. Animal Control's been trying to find out who. The department said 2 squirrels appear to have been painted, one blue, the other red. That's according to the photos the department personnel posted on social media. Animal Control said the squirrels appear to be okay. However, they are still looking for whoever was responsible.
Who would do that?
How do you catch them to paint them?
Really? How do you sit and put it in the chair to do their hair?
Those people are nutty.
I don't know.
Very nutty.
Right, thanks for joining us tonight.
25 News now, sunrise 5 a.m. Jimmy Kimmel Live starts now.